Hello, everyone. Welcome to Holy Babel again. I would just like to give some closing arguments, some of the political things that have happened over the last few months, days, and even up to the last minute that just happened a few minutes ago. I just found out about. For some of us, you can look at January the 19th, which is tomorrow. This is Saturday evening or night. But we could kind of look at January the 19th as New Year's Eve, minus the excitement, joy, and optimism for the future. So kind of the opposite of what New Year's Eve would be, but it's kind of like the last, day before maybe all hell breaks loose, or maybe it won't be as hellish. We hope as we think it might be, or whatever. We'll have to see. We've been here before, and we know how that went. There's a lot of folks who are not here for this next round, if you know what I mean. We're not here for it. And so I actually believe, looking back, I actually believe that the incoming would have been back for a second term, would have served two consecutive terms had it not been for the pandemic, for the virus. Had incoming just faced it head on and just said, Houston, we have a situation, all right, and just been honest, about what we were facing and what needed to be done to get through it. He would have definitely been back for two consecutive terms. I absolutely do not doubt that we weren't just dying to have President Biden in the office. They weren't trying to just hunt that man down. No. That was a last minute reservation. And people always say, oh, you can't blame Trump for the pandemic, for the virus. Guess what? No, let's get this straight. He didn't create the virus. I don't blame incoming for the virus. I blame him for how he handled the virus. And he is definitely guilty as hell on that. Nobody's saying it was his fault, it happened, or it came to that time. But how we dealt with it definitely had something to do with him telling you it's no big deal, it's just a little flu. Well, that little bit of flu killed a lot of people. His people, our people, people in between, people overseas. That little bit of flu was not just was a big ball of hot mess. Okay, so to say it's not that big of a deal because you get the best of care was misleading the public. It was a big deal, and it might still be a big deal again. Lord help us all for real if it comes back even worse. It's still out there, but not near as bad as it was, 2020. Okay, and so like I said, so when the people that voted for him started dying, and seeing that how he was just bold-faced lying to them about the seriousness of the situation, what happened was you scared the crap out of people. And you basically kind of just almost forced them to kind of run into the opposite direction, away from you, okay? And so in a way, Joe Biden kind of got grandfathered, no pun intended, grandfathered in, because we knew at least Biden had, experience in politics for decades. We knew he was at least, level-headed, at least at that moment, level-handed, level-handed, clear thinking, had been there, done that with multiple presidents, been in the business for a long time. And so you kind of, made us run toward Joe Biden because you wouldn't just come out and say what it was. Next topic, now that we have kind of moved past the pandemic, even though, it is still out there in some way, shape, form, or fashion, under different names, all the names you've got, I can't even keep up with that. But I think people feel more comfortable returning back to their home base. We went to Biden, and once we kind of got through that, the worst of the worst, it's like, what, okay, now I'll go back across the tracks, or, even the people who came from my side of the tracks to incoming side of the tracks, then went back to Biden because they got scared. I went back to, what he was selling. Went back to buy what he was selling. Okay, next topic. I heard that Biden supposedly had questioned whether or not he should have stepped down for running for the presidency again, finishing the term and all that kind of thing, or, finishing, do the nomination. And I'm like, honey child, I don't think so. It's okay. I'm glad you believe in yourself and feel like you really could have won. You could have beat him. Let me in there. I'll get him. I'll show him. I'll teach him. I doubt it. Okay, you gave it a good shot by at least trying to let Kamala run, a younger person, whatnot, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen